Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com. We are here with the behind the scenes video. You know how we do it. We want to give you every chance to see what goes into getting a radio interview these days. Matt's here with us from Chemical Empire. What's up, playa?
What's going on?
Looks like it's a nice day over in Toledo.
Yeah, it is. Not too hot.
You got a jacket. That's what I was fixing to ask. You got a jacket on. Is it cold over there?
It's breezy.
I hear you. Like over here, we're in triple digits already, dog. It's like Mother Nature didn't get the memo that summer starts June 20th.
Yeah.
All right. So before we start doing the whole radio interview, if you're watching this video and you like what we do and you want to help support our mission of giving a global platform to independent and unsigned artists, one of the simplest ways to do it is just use our Amazon affiliate link. It's right down there in the crawl. It'll also be down there in the description, tiny URL /Amazon link MO. That stands for Mike Oleander. That's me. When you go to it, go ahead and save it to your, what's the word I'm looking for? Save it to your browser so that every time you go shop on Amazon, we'll receive a small commission. There's no cost added to you, and it just helps keep the engine running, keep us broadcasting over here in Indie Rage Radio. So if you do that, we sure would appreciate it. And let's get into it. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com, kicking off our number 1. We are joined by our special guest. We teased it a few minutes ago. Matt from Chemical Empire is here. What's up, man?
What's going on? How we doing?
Not too much. I'm doing fantastic. Glad to have you on the show. And Matt, I don't know if you've ever listened before, but the Rage Nation, they're kind of nosy. They want to know a little bit about Matt. So we're going to play a game so that they can get to know you better, okay?
Okay.
Tonight, we're going to play 10 rounds with Mikey O. It's kind of like this or that. I'm going to give you 2 things, 3 things, and you tell me which one you like the most. Sound cool?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's get into it. Round number 1. Who would win in a fight? The Avengers or the Justice League?
Avengers.
You said that too easy. And you know what? Most people say Avengers too, but then I have to say, being a DC fanboy, who in the world on the Avengers squad is taking care of Superman?
Thor.
Thor?
He's a god. I don't like DC.
I would have to. Why not?
It's boring.
Dang.
I grew up on Marvel, so that's where I'm at. It was always Spider-Man for me and the X-Men. So actually, recently, I'm real excited about the new X-Men revival going on. I'm nerdy, so that's where I'm at. So,
you know, I've always been a casual fan of both, but I've always been like a Superman mark. But I tell you what, once I saw Brie Larson and that Captain Marvel little get up, I was like, boy, I can get this to Captain Marvel.
I don't even like Captain Marvel.
And so you know what? And you know what? She's the character that a lot of people say would rival Superman because she has a lot of the same powers.
Yeah, but she's really OP in the movie, I think. And I think it's something tied with the actress that plays her. You know, there's a whole movement. I don't want to like get too much into like politics and stuff. So, but I think you would kind of know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So Matt from Chemical Empire would go with the Avengers. We're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one, bud.
All right. I get the point though, right? Ding.
Yes. Okay. All right. Number 2, round number 2, Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo?
It's Nintendo for me.
Yes. Which version of Nintendo?
NES.
We're talking 8-bit.
Yeah.
We're talking Duck Hunt, Mario 1. We're talking Mike Tyson's Punch Out. We're talking Excite Bike. Yeah, don't get me going. I love me some NES.
Yeah, that's my jam. But I have kids, so we play Switch together. And before that was what? We play Wii together and Switch. So, yeah. But for me, it's mostly the retro gaming. That's where I'm at.
What was your favorite game on NES?
That's tough.
Yeah, there's so
Could be
many.
like
That's a loaded question.
any of the Zeldas. I really liked Mega Man, the second one specifically. I have a gaming channel called One Up X Esports where I used to host gaming
Okay.
events, including retro challenges. So you can see some people getting down with some classic Mario head to head. That
Yeah.
was my thing. You know, we had I feel like I'm going to talk a lot. I don't know how much time I have on here, so maybe probably should just roll to the next question.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. I feel you though, man. I love me some NES. All right.
go on.
Here we go. Round number 3, pizza or hamburger?
Well, probably burger for me, but it's because I can't eat cheese or dairy,
Mm.
so it's not the same. I used
But,
to be able to, and
but
now
you
I
know what?
can't.
They got vegan pizza out there.
Yeah, but I don't like vegan cheese. It's nasty.
Mm. You know, we used to have a place over here named Mellow Mushroom, and I don't know if you have one in your neck of the woods. It's kind of
Mm-mm.
like a franchise, but they had a big uh what was the Transformer's name? He was like a beetle, like a beetle bug.
Mm.
They had him right in front of it. It was really cool. Anyways, their
Sweet.
their their vegan pizza is really good. I had somebody talk me into it one time, and they're like, "No, you're
Uh,
gonna love it," and I'm like, "I don't think so," and it was actually pretty good.
mm.
So if you ever see a Mellow Mushroom, stop by.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Round number 4: metalcore or pop punk?
Neither.
Oh man, not even Blink 182.
um. Okay. Yeah, like older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not 100% on the metalcore movement, and I think it's just that like I listen to a lot of it, but I'm not blown away. Like back in the early 2000s, when new bands would come out or new songs would come out, it was always like, radio hits and
Mm-hmm.
banger after banger and catchy hooks. With the newer stuff, it's like if I'm driving, you know, and I just want to like jam, then yeah, that's it. But not a lot of them I'm going to remember the melodies or anything because it's just all kind of the same. It just
Right.
kind of, you get lost in it. Not all of it. There's a lot of exceptional bands out there right now, but for the most part, I'm just not sold on it completely.
Gotcha.
Man,
Round number 5: summer or winter?
I used to like winter better because I didn't like to be getting burnt up. But now I'm the opposite. I don't like to be cold. I think it changed for me. Uh, we went to Eminem has a restaurant in Detroit, Mom's Spaghetti,
Uh-huh.
and it was my son's birthday, and he wanted to go there, and we ended up waiting in the alley, and it was like 30 degrees out or something, and I didn't bring a coat, and they had an
Oh
AC
no.
unit blasting everyone in there. And I was suffering that night. So I think after that, I was like, I don't ever want to be cold again.
Yeah, I hear you. Does it snow bad there in Toledo?
It used to. It doesn't seem like we've been getting a lot of snow the last few years.
Mm.
So I don't know. Don't know what's going on.
Let's see here. Round number 6: flying or driving?
Driving, I don't like to fly.
Yeah, I'm with you on
I
that. I mean, you look like a decent sized dude. I mean, my gripe with flying is that it's not made for rotund people. What's your gripe with flying?
it's a control thing. I think I don't like to not be in control and being that high up. If something happens, like, well, my life's in the hands of whoever's up there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've always not liked to fly, but I've flown 20 times at least in my life, and will keep doing it. I just it's like some NyQuil and like a pre-roll or something,
Yeah.
and then my headphones in the whole time, and then I hope that I'm gonna like pass out, but I don't, right? So I'm awake the whole time. So all the turbulence and I'm just anxiety. And then the moment we land and I get off, I'm like, it finally kicks in.
Mhm.
I'm ready to sleep the whole time. So
Yeah.
yeah, driving for sure.
Round number 7, coffee or energy drinks?
Well, I don't drink coffee and I don't drink energy drinks. Um, but if I had to choose, hmm, I don't know, energy drink depends on which one it is. Some of them make my heart really go
Oh, yeah.
wild. Yeah. But then
Yep.
coffee makes my stomach go wild. So you can't win.
Yeah, for a while there, I was, like, addicted to energy drinks. And
Yeah.
then, like, I started cutting caffeine out of my life. I was like, "This is doing me no good." Like, I have to have caffeine to live. That's no good. So
Yeah.
so it got to the point where a few years later, I drank one. It was a Ghost, and, I think they got, like, 200 milligrams of caffeine in there, and, oh my god, I thought I was gonna die. I had palpitations and everything. I was like,
Right.
"No
Yeah.
bueno. No no
Yeah.
more."
I have this one, Alani, right?
Mhm.
You know Alani?
No, I've never heard of that one.
Oh, they're well over here. They're popular and they're good, and they don't give you a lot of the side effects.
Oh, good.
Yep. So I drink those if I have to.
Let's see, round number 8, CD or digital download?
Vinyl.
There you
uh,
go.
well, you know, they say that vinyl is the best audio uh, as far as quality and sound,
Yeah.
but I think that only applies for the older music that was recorded analog. The newer stuff that was recorded digital, actually CD is the best format for it. So CD for sure.
You know, very interesting. A few weeks ago, we had on a band from Chicago, Chains Over Razors,
Mm,
and their lead singer is an audio tech,
mm,
and for like a studio over there, and he went into like the total science of why record audio is so much better than anything else. And I was just
mm.
blown away. I was like, bro, we came here for an interview. We just left with a science lesson.
Nah, yeah. Hey, I mean, if I had the time, I'd probably get into it too because I love when it sounds really good. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Round number 9. Who's a better screamer? Courtney from Spirit Box or Maria from In This Moment?
Hmm. Well, I like in this moment better. So would it be biased to say in this moment?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Not if you like them better. That was the point.
Yeah. Well, because for me, I got to be fair. Somebody could be better, but I don't like them. I would still give them the credit for being better. I don't know. I don't. I really haven't gotten into Spirit Box a whole lot. Everybody's been really like going on about them, and it's good, but I feel like it falls more with what I was talking about before, where I'm just waiting for something really to be catchy. I have an unpopular opinion, which is that probably right now I feel like Fallen Reverse is ahead of them all.
Ugh.
I know. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I like the guy, but I'm saying that music wise, uh, and catchy hooks and doing everything right, I think that you know if especially if you compare it to older bands like what we talked about, where all these bands would come out, uh, like but even before Breaking Benjamin, Soundgarden, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, that was like my era, right? So
Mhm.
you know all the songs you can play like a couple seconds of guitar from, and you would know what the song was going to be, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody would name a song and you could instantly like pull up the chorus or hum it or whistle it or something, right? And it's just that's what it is. Like a lot of these bands aren't really doing that for me. It's my opinion. So I mean, it doesn't mean it's facts. It's opinion, and also they don't really have the polarizing front man either. You know, I think a lot of people are trying to be too nice, and not as expressive as they want to be because of kind of the way our culture is right now, where you have to kind of walk on eggshells about everything,
Hmm.
which is fine. Let the music do the talking. But one of the things that really had the rock star vibe back then was, you had these frontmen that were doing crazy things. Every time they got interviewed, it was wild and you didn't know what to expect. And they get on stage and do something controversial. And, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, when's the next time you're going to hear somebody do that besides Ronnie Radke? Is he the only person out there doing that right now that's newer? We need more of that. So
Yeah.
it's hard. Everybody's saying, and that's what's nobody wants to hear you say Fallen Reverse is like, leading the pack in that way, but we don't have anybody else. So let's get some more of that, and then maybe we'll stop talking about them. You know, we just like that shock value.
Yeah.
That's what everybody likes.
And
Love them or
Ronnie,
hate them.
yeah, and Ronnie doesn't do many interviews, but he did one with Rock Feed like a month or so
Yeah,
ago.
I saw that.
Yeah, yeah, and he seems like a really down to earth guy.
He does, but then here's where I go the other way. He did another interview with that. I don't know what her name, Blair White. She's a tuber or something, YouTuber.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
And it was like the same exact conversation. And then it was sort of like, are we, feeding his narcissism where he just wants everybody to like him and will go out of his way to make that happen, no matter if he says he doesn't care,
yeah.
Because it's just the whole interview is just him trying to convince you of all the same points that, he's a good guy. It's like, just don't care, guy.
I
Just
tell
don't
you
care.
what, I bet you the band that kicked him out when he went to prison is goat kicking themselves right about now.
Escape the fate.
Yeah,
I think they're all friends right now, but yeah, I would agree. They probably weren't happy about how it turned out.
yeah. All right, and round number 10, the finale of 10 rounds with Mikey O. Mohawk or mullet?
Oof. Why not both?
There can only be one.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Mohawks were always cool growing up, but my son had a mullet for a whole summer, so I'm gonna go with that one. And he
Yeah.
chose it. He chose. I didn't want him to have it, but he wanted it, so I let him do
Hey, mullets are back in, man. He should have never have shaved it off.
it. They are.
Uh, I mean, I, I mean, it's summer now, but like when I would bring my little girl to school, she's in middle school. The mullets were everywhere. It was a sea of mullets.
Yeah.
It was a great sight.
Yeah. Party in the back. Woo.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about a song that is your current single. You're pushing
Okay.
it. It's available on all streaming platforms. It's called No Crying. What is this song about?
Yes. So No Crying is a song about I would always go in my Facebook feed and a lot of the people would show up in my feed always complaining about stuff, always complaining about where they're at in life. Um, oh, how come this is not happening for me, or how come this is not happening, or for example, like in music, I have a lot of music friends, and you know, maybe the music's not that great, but they're wondering it's unfair system because they're not getting, a paid wage through Spotify, you know? And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, you try to give them some advice and they don't want to hear it, or they'll get mad and get defensive, and it's never them. So the song No Crying is about you crying that it's not going your way, but you're not doing anything about it actually. So it's like, get up off your butt and put the work in, and you'll get the rewards. And so that's what it is.
There it is. It's Chemical Empire with No Crying on Indie Rage Radio. Very good. I had 2 years ago, I had a artist who was promoting some tracks on our digital radio station, and he was like, I'm not seeing, you know, anything come of this. And like I showed him, all the times that it played and stuff like that. I was like, we're playing it. People are listening. And, he just kept coming back and coming back and coming back. And I'm like, okay, bro, truth, it's time for a truth bomb. Maybe your song doesn't resonate with anybody, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're playing it. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
I feel that.
A big thing with that too is that, and this is another, it kind of goes into that whole metalcore thing, is where you have these bands like Bring Me the Horizon, which are, top tier for our era right now, right?
Right.
And Bad Omens, everybody's talking about them, everybody loves them, and I think they're okay. I like some of the songs a lot, and then some of them I'm just okay with. But regardless, this is what everybody's into right now. So all these bands are just sort of replicating the sound and hoping to get that same result.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to do also because of the internet. We can hear all these songs and we can get into like Reddit forums and talk about how they did it and what equipment they used. We're back in like say the 90s, and 2000s where it wasn't as accessible, that information. People were just experimenting with sounds and coming up with their own thing, and everybody kind of had a unique sound, and so everybody stood out.
Yeah.
And a lot of those bands right now today, they're still headlining all the big shows, the big festivals and everything. And it's just because they were doing their own thing, they were expressing themselves, they were looking inward and pulling from that. And I think the people who really do take the time to tap into their emotions and how they're feeling and really put it into music, those are the ones that stand out and actually have something, I think, because it's more real.
Yeah. Before we get to segment 2, it's funny what you said earlier about, 90s bands, kind of being controversial and giving people something to talk about and doing crazy things. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever heard this story, but this one always trips me out. So Eddie Vedder was
Mm-hmm.
having trouble with fame, and he really couldn't deal with fame. And they had some time off, and he was wanting just to get away from everything. So it was somewhere in Washington. He decided, I'm going to take a hike on this mountain and just get away from everything and just chill and be in nature. Well, wouldn't you know, 2 hikers walking on a path right where he's chilling. They start singing one of his songs and he just loses it. And they said he comes crashing through this brush like a bear and comes like accosting them, telling them not to sing his songs and this and that. I always thought that was hilarious. I can imagine that visual.
That's
Oh my God,
funny.
that's Eddie Vedder.
Yeah. Yeah, you ever see those videos where he would be climbing on the trusses and lighting and rafters in the arenas that he was playing?
He was nuts.
That's what I'm saying. That was crazy. And I'd watch him, be like, oh, this guy's dead. But he'd make it. But that's what I'm saying,
He should have swanton bombed off of it into the crowd like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, right. Cage match.
All right, let's see. So segment number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com. We are back with Matt from Chemical Empire. Matt, where can people find you on the internet?
We do have a website, chemicalempire.com. It has all the links for all the socials, and usually I put like all song updates or previews, teasers, or anything on there. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then the other ones, I don't even know. I don't know what else there is. I don't do Snapchat.
So many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's too many.
Go to chemicalempire.com. Find him on your favorite streaming platform. Give him a stream. Find him on your favorite social media platform. Give him a follow. Watch his music videos on YouTube. Help support Matt and Chemical Empire. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this. So you're a solo project.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite solo projects of all time, Clayton. Of course, he started out Circle of Dust. Now he's Cell Dweller, has his own record label and everything like that. So kudos to that guy.
Nice.
When did you start learning like all these instruments?
That guy that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
the first what the last band you said, Cell
Cell Dweller.
Cell Dweller. Yeah, yeah. I learned of them through the Matrix video game on PlayStation because one of the songs I think was in the soundtrack.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, I think. But
Yeah.
anyways,
He also cool story real quick. He also helped Chris Angel, the illusionist,
oh, nice.
on an album, and it's really dope. It's really, really good. And I got it, and it was opened, like it didn't have the cellophane plastic around it. I'm like, what is this janky thing? Like I was getting all mad, and I opened it up, and they both had signed it. And I didn't pay for a signed edition or anything like that. They just did it, and I was like, oh, that's dope.
I didn't know Chris Angel. Did he make music?
He made one album, yeah, with Clayton.
Was it good?
Oh, it's fantastic. It was
called?
it was called Angel Dust. Chris Angel, Angel Dust.
I should check that out.
Bro, it's on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go stream it. So good. Yeah. So when did you start picking up all these instruments?
Well, I started guitar when I was 15. I grew up, we were like gamers. And so I think like one day my dad got kind of tired of it. So he got me a guitar and I didn't know what to do with it. And so it just kind of sat there. And then I had one of my sister's boyfriends came over and played. And it was he played some Nirvana jams. He played some Marilyn Manson. And then he taught me how to play Sweet Dreams, the Marilyn Manson version. So that was the first thing I learned how to play. And then my sister had one of her friends that was a girl come over. And she asked whose guitar it was. So I was like, I can play this. And I played that Sweet Dreams melody. And then, she got all excited about it. So, of course, I'm like, oh, this could be something.
This is the ticket.
This is it. Yep. And so I started doing that. And then my brother got some drums and we played together. And then I just started playing around on the drums. And then, over time, I just started downloading like Fruity Loops, or it's FL Studio now. But I just record stuff and I just keep adding instruments and learning how to do them. And I mean, that was a long time ago. So it's been about over 25 years of just playing around.
Yeah. And I saw another. Go ahead.
Nope. I was saying, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw in another interview, you'd been writing songs for years before you actually thought, hey, let me start making music. Did you want to be just a songwriter, or did you always have that idea that one day you were going to put your own stuff out?
So I've always written songs. I think probably started writing them within like 2 years of playing. And then I would just have friends would play the songs with me, or we would just jam. And then I did get into a band and we played some shows, and that was a lot of fun. But what makes it hard is that I'm like really passionate about it. So I want to nonstop write and then bring these ideas to the table. But they wanted to like not have that. They wanted to sit in the room and come up with the songs together. So there would be some conflict with that, and then, it'd always be me trying to get together with people. And then there was too many like factors, too many variables. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, the only way I'm going to be able to put songs out would be if I just do it myself. So at first I wasn't actually singing or anything. I wasn't actually even confident that I could sing. So I had a friend do the vocals for me. I would show him how I wanted it done, and I would play on the piano the melodies that the vocals should do. Because I wasn't trying to actually hit notes or anything. I was too embarrassed. And we did a whole album. It's on Spotify also. It's called Dead Echoes. But we did that, and then as we got like to the last couple songs, it just started to get a little bit easier, and I was starting to feel like, man, I really feel like I could do this. So I just started noodling with some songs at home on my own. And then my fiance was like, hey, you should just sing, just try it. And so she kind of pushed me to give it a shot. And then I played around with it for a little bit. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh, well, actually, when I did the first song, so I had Miles Claiborne. Do you know who he is? He's from the
Hmm.
band Saul.
Okay.
He's a drummer, but he also, as a side gig, he's mixing and mastering, and he does some production too. And I would watch him on Facebook, put some songs together. I'm like, this guy makes stuff sound good. So I messaged him and I sent him the song Cold Wave, actually, and was like, hey, can you mix and master this for me? But also, I'm not a singer and I don't know how good it's gonna sound. So can you make it sound good? And he's like, yeah, let me help you. And he went through and he's like, yeah, just be confident, dude. Be confident. Like, you got it, you got it. He gave me a few pointers, like go a little bit more throaty here, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And so I re-recorded a couple times and fell into the pocket a little bit, at least of what my sound was going to be. And so we did that song first, and then as they started happening, I just like said, you know what, forget it, like let's do it. Especially after the first song I dropped was Desire to Hate, and I was so nervous and scared that nobody was going to like it. And I put it in like a Facebook group, and everybody liked it. And I was just like, come on, like they're just being nice, right? Like that's the culture now, And no, it just turns out like it's a different sound. It's not like what everybody's doing, but it's like not awful. I mean, maybe it is awful. I don't know. It's okay enough in my brain to keep doing it. So that's just what I'm doing. I just love music so much. It's like, if you like it, it's a bonus. If they don't like it, it doesn't really matter. I'm still gonna do it.
And speaking of that first song, that's actually a great segue, Matt, because it's the next song we're going to play. What's Desire to Hate all about?
Desire to Hate is about fighting yourself unnaturally to like be like a nice person, to the point where people get to just like walk over you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like sometimes it's healthy to let out a little bit of anger or whatever, right? So Desire to Hate, it's like you're battling with like you really want to be kind of a hole, but you're not doing it, but it feels good to sometimes. So that's what
Here it
it is.
is. It's Desire to Hate from Chemical Empire on Indie Rage Radio. Very good. Segment 3, we're going to talk a little bit about Toledo.
Ugh, okay. If we have to.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com, kicking our number 2 off with more amazing music and our special guest, Matt from Chemical Empire. Now, Matt, they say Toledo, Ohio is the glass capital of the world.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
We have Libby Glass, so they manufacture a lot of the glass. So they call it the Glass City.
Nice.
Yep. It's
All right.
I don't know if you've ever seen a Libby Glass. It's a high quality. So I
Yeah.
mean, like a lot of like bars and restaurants all over the U.S., I believe, specifically buy those glasses.
I wonder, are we talking about like windows?
No, like this, like
Oh, yes. I do know what you're talking about now. Yes.
hmm
Yeah. I thought
I
we were
mean,
just
I
talking
don't know
about
if they
glass in
make
general.
windows. They could make windows. I don't know. I don't know all the stuff they make. That's what I
Yeah.
know is drink glasses.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Toledo. So somebody's taking the Spirit Airlines.
hmm
They're coming for a weekend in
hmm
Toledo. Okay.
hmm
They
hmm
just touched down. They're hungry.
Yes.
What's one restaurant that you would recommend that they got to go eat in Toledo?
I don't know. You know what? I live just outside of Toledo, and we have a place over here in Sylvania called J&G Pizza. And so it's they have like gyros and like Greek food,
Mhm.
but then they have pizza and they spin it like right in front of you, and I mean
Nice.
it's so good. It's the best. I always get like a gyro and a pizza. Yes, but out of all the out of all the restaurants, I mean, there's some good stuff here, some really nice ones, but that's like the smaller, like local, family owned, you know, secret hidden gem that if you know, you know, kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah, do that one.
They have a brick fired oven.
I don't know. I'm not 100% on that. I've never actually sat in there and watched them cook it.
Yeah, usually if they have like a brick fired oven, they have it like right in the front so everybody can see it. So
It's a small restaurant, and usually there's lines going out the door to get in. They only open at like 4 p.m. So
nice.
everybody wants to get their chance to get in there, and then you get seated in the back away from when you're like paying for stuff. They're cooking right there in front of you. So
There he goes. The Toledo internet hit us. You back? Maybe. Having a little connection issues here.
you there?
He's back.
I thought my story wasn't interesting because you weren't moving.
All right, so we'll catch back up to where we kind of left off right there. All right, let's see. So the town that you live in, you said it was Slovenia. Is that like, do you guys have like a headlight plant up there?
Sylvania,
Yeah,
a headlight plant? I don't know.
because I think that's the name of like a headlight company. I think they make like light bulbs too, which makes
Uh,
sense.
yeah, I don't think that's the same Sylvania. I
Mm.
know what you're talking about. I see them in like Lowe's and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so they just got a banging gyro and pizza.
Yeah.
They want to catch a rock show.
Mm-hmm.
What bar or club should they go to catch this show?
Somewhere in Detroit.
Mm. How far is
Well,
Detroit from Toledo?
it's about 45 minutes ish.
Do we have to check with Trick before we go over there?
I don't know. Do we?
I don't know. Eminem says you might have to. I don't know.
We have one standout place here in Toledo called Frankie's. It's just right over on the other side of town. You cross the bridge to get to it, but I mean, it's been here for as long as I can remember. It's really, really old, and it's got a lot of history. A lot of the big names in the industry have all like played there before they were anybody's. So
Nice.
they just renovated it a little bit or whatever. Now they're starting to put shows back in there. It's not very big, it's like a bar sized, but it's got history. So I think if you're a Toledo band, your checklist is to play Frankie's at least once. And I've never played Frankie's, so it's on my checklist.
It's kind of like Toledo's CBGB.
Yep. I mean, that's exactly what it is, really. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So they got some great food. They just caught a rockin' show. They're coming out. It's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Toledo should they avoid?
Listen, I live here and people can find me. So what's the next question?
There you go. Next question is, what's suffocating about?
Suffocating is about having a person in your life who they stay close to you, and they're your friend or whatever, but they don't want to see you succeed, and they kind of get like irritated by your success. They want to kind of hold you back. It's like if they're not making it, you're not making it, sort of thing. And I think everybody has that. It don't even have to be like somebody it could be someone in your family, or maybe they're just jealous or whatever it is. But yep, that's just something that I see. All my songs are just, I pull these things from my life and I write about them. So it's like, if I see something, I write about it. If I'm feeling something, I write about it. And I think that helps make my music sort of relatable to a lot of people, because like, it's real stuff. Like, oh, how many people feel the same way? How many people have that person in their life and they need to just cut them loose? How much happier would you be? How many people are married or in relationships where that your spouse is that person? Like, especially nowadays, like, you don't want to see. I mean, you don't want your other person to tell you not to go for your dreams, right? You want them to support you and have your back, but a lot of times they like where they're at and they don't want anything to change. And if there's a chance that you can be famous or whatever, they don't want that, because then you're gonna get all attention or whatever. I mean, it's all toxic, and so that's what suffocating is. You have that toxic person in your life always trying to bring you down.
Here it is. It's Chemical Empire with Suffocating on Indie Rage Radio. Very good. Segment 4 is our last segment. It's at the end of the show. So it's kind of like we're up against the clock. So we're kind of like, hurrying, and we're just putting like a bow on everything. Okay. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com. Sadly, it is our final segment with Matt from Chemical Empire. ChemicalEmpire.com. Go find him on social media. Go stream his music. Go find him on YouTube. Hit the play button. Help support the Chemical Empire. So what does the future look like for Chemical Empire? What you got brewing?
Just music, and more music. I have a lot of songs on deck, waiting to go into the studio. I'm writing songs nonstop, so it's just going to be an endless supply of songs. I've considered like live shows, but I don't have a band yet. So if you're in a band and you're around here and you want to play my songs with me, hit me up. Go to the website.
There you go. Hey, we talked about Clayton earlier. If you go on YouTube and you put in Cell Dweller, Wish Upon a Black Star, and watch his live show, it's very minimum. It's him and a guitar player, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's
well,
dope.
I do want to rely on musicians as much as possible and not backing tracks, but I do understand that some things you can't help. But I like the band vibe where there's people there and the energy that you all bring together. That's a whole nother level. So I'm into that. Yep.
All right, very good. So the last song we're going to play on the show is Cold Wave. What is this song about?
Cold Wave is about battling your own depression. So it's about just, you have it and you're just trying to get past it. And, depression's something that nowadays everybody goes through. And it was something that I went through and never thought I could. And actually I thought, it was weak to say you were depressed until actually I went through it. And then I, sort of became woke to that and was like, okay, this sucks. And people shouldn't have to go through it. You need people to support you. It's fine, but overall, like your mind goes to a dark place, and you just need to know that it's just like a moment in time that you'll get through in your life, and you never know what the next day brings. So just keep fighting, and that's what the cold wave is.
He is Matt from Chemical Empire. Find him on your favorite social media platform, your favorite streaming platform. Support Matt and Chemical Empire. My name is Mikey O. It is time for both of us to get out of here. We'll see ya when we see ya.
See ya. Thank you. Love you guys.
All right, very cool. Matt, appreciate your time, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on here.
I'll tell you what, you got some happy birds back there. You got like the Audubon Society over there in Toledo.
Oh, over here is like sort of like the suburbs.
Yeah.
So it's not real city. So there's a lot of like, trees and stuff back here. And like I've had deer come out of like what looks like just only a couple trees. Somehow they live in there and they trample our flowers and shit.
Well, that's not good.
All the animals. We have all the animals, birds and squirrels and shit. They just come up to you and they don't even care,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're used to all the humans. They're like, we can't live in the city, so we're here.
Yeah. We coexist. Yeah.
All right. Before you go, if you could give me a drop whenever you're ready, if you'd give me a, hey, this is Matt with Chemical Empire, and you're listening to Indie Rage Radio.
Hey, this is Matt from Chemical Empire. You're listening to Indie Rage Radio. Like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Give me the countdown.
3, 2.
Hey, this is Matt from Chemical Empire, and you're listening to Indie Rage Radio. Check it out.
Right on, brother. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate it. Keep up the hard work, man.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And like I said, thanks for having me on here. And
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's the total hookup. I appreciate what you do for everybody, really.
Yeah, man. And ditto. Without you guys, this platform wouldn't be anything as well. So,
yeah, I just think that there's so much independent community out there, and it's people like you, and there's a few others doing the same thing as you. You guys are sort of like the glue to the community. You bring everybody together for that cause. To, is music really just going to be this anymore? Pull out your phone and throw on Spotify, and that's it. It's all part of the big thing. Like we're actually a community, and people get, they bond through music, and they have experiences through music, and there's not a lot of that going on. And then we have you guys. You guys are like the revival. Like there is no more FM radio. I mean, there is, but not really.
No, and I work for the third largest radio company in the world, and like to play an independent artist on our airwaves never would happen.
Oh man, exactly.
Never.
Back in the day, the DJs could spin whatever they wanted to. They had the freedom, and that's when everything was great. And now it's corporate controlled.
Yep.
It's based on who's paying what in the industry, and it sucks for the little guys, the people who are really passionate and who actually have the talent, versus the people who had the big pocketbooks and the connections.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys are the revival, and you're bringing back everything that's missing with the industry right now, and I appreciate that a lot, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. So thank you.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, thank you. All right, man. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Will do.
Later.
See you, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Bye.